Good morning, my name is Simone Hapton, student number 329000428. This is Assessment 3, Poster Oral Presentation for EDN 449. My poster is on dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is a neurological learning disability that impairs an individual's ability to learn mathematical concepts. It's usually diagnosed around the 8 years of age, as students need to be displaying 1 to 2 years behind their peers in maths for the red flags to basically start showing. Dyscalculia actually impacts a student's life quite considerably. It can start from waking up in the morning, their morning routine, having to have a concept of time, organisation skills, right through to working out how long it's going to take them to get to school. So if any of those things don't go according to their plan, then by the time the students reach your classroom, they can be quite flustered and not really in the right frame of mind to be learning for the day. So some of the barriers in the classroom, there can be multiple hurdles, a lot of short or long-term memory problems, working memory. The mathematical vocabulary can create difficulties, especially if the students also have dyslexia. The double meanings of words can be confusing for students with dyscalculia. They encounter homonyms and homophones. They frequently struggle with organisation skills. They work at a slower pace, and processing rates can be slower as well. You can identify students who may have dyscalculia, but of course, being the teacher, you can't necessarily diagnose them, but you can send them on their way to doing some screening tests and then moving them into the professional fields to be formally diagnosed. So I've included some diagnostic screening links on my poster. The key strategy is knowing your students, how they learn, and build relationships with the student and their family. Your first port of call with a student with dyscalculia would be to speak to the parents and carers of that student, their past teachers, and any therapists and assistants that they may have out of school hours. Dyscalculia affects each learner differently and uniquely, so building a strengths-based approach, demonstrating understanding and willingness to accommodate their learning, and really celebrate their achievements, no matter how small, is I think the most imperative foundation step for building success in a child with dyscalculia's maths journey. So if I just move over here, sorry about my face. So my first practice would be explicit teaching. Explicit teaching will help students with dyscalculia to connect directly to their learning, as long as you can identify a clear, specific objective and draw on their prior knowledge, making connections to their lives, then they can primarily see how maths fits into their life. You have to break down your information into chunks. If you have a whole list of steps or procedures, a child with dyscalculia is just going to look at that list and their brain will shut down. The cognitive load will be excessive just at looking at that list of procedures, and they won't even get to the learning. They will give up before they even begin. So if you break the information down into small chunks and you model with clear expectations and explanations, this will help with their visual processing. You verbalize the thinking process out loud. If you model think alouds and use the correct mathematical language in the correct context, then the students can begin to understand how those words work with maths and start using it in their math vocab list. Practicing one-on-one with the students with explicit teaching is the key, providing opportunities daily for them using the concrete, representational and abstract model. So starting with manipulatives, moving through to representational, maybe with a whiteboard and a whiteboard marker, and then through to abstract, which abstract is fundamentally the key that that dyscalculic students will struggle with. And giving feedback regularly on their learning to show the students that maybe they didn't get the right answer, but the journey that they've gone on has definitely got merit. And sorry about that. And celebrating successes, no matter how small. You need to build confidence in your and self-esteem in your learner, and engagement and enjoyment with math will begin to follow once they're feeling success in their learning. My second practice that I have included is multisensory teaching. So students with dyscalculia are usually enjoy multisensory teaching. It has been shown to successfully assist them in absorbing information through multiple senses. So introducing new concepts, you prepare for new skills through examination of existing information, so connecting to prior knowledge, that's auditory. Use real-world examples, auditory and visual. You educate students with problem-solving techniques such as self-talk. Allow pupils to solve issues by making charts and sketches, so that's visual and kinesthetic. You teach maths concepts with manipulatives, which is huge for dyscalculic students. They really need to get their hands on and working with manipulatives to be able to remember concepts and the reason why they're doing maths. So when giving instructions and assignments, I would suggest to simplify worksheets to a few questions on one page, and even enlarging the page to A3 for more room for the students to write down their ideas and scribble down things that they are thinking at the time. Working memory issues, students really need to be able to write down their thinking straight away, because in an instant, if they get distracted, they can lose their train of thought. When working on word problems, asking the student to underline or circle important words can help. Allowing extra test time for students. Time restraints can cause massive maths anxiety in students, specifically dyscalculic students. And allowing them to use times table charts, 100 charts, a calculator if they need it. If you're not testing computational skills, then it's more than welcome for students to use calculators. Thank you for listening to my talk.